my god, this is my dream gig. I get to pet burros all morning. Hello, Wonderhussy here. Just spent the night in my car at the base of the beautiful Eastern Sierra. I'm actually right at the trailhead for that abandoned ashram I hiked to a couple months ago. But I'm not hiking up to the abandoned ashram today. In fact, I'm not doing any hiking in the mountains at all today. I only camped here because I needed a private place to spend the night. And where I'm going is pretty crowded. Where I'm going is right down the hill here to the little town of Lone Pine, California. That's right, Lone Pine. It's a super quaint little town right on US 395, that beautiful highway that runs up alongside these gorgeous mountains. Anyway, they used to film a lot of Western movies in Lone Pine, and so every year they have a Western film festival. And that's what's going on in Lone Pine this weekend. They had a Western Film Festival. Today's Sunday. I guess the festival's been going on all weekend. But I just got here last night because I was invited to march in the parade. Okay, I guess there's a group that has burrows that you can... Well, I'm not exactly sure if they're for therapy or for hiking. Like they carry your backpacks. I'm not sure. There's some kind of burro rescue group that invited me to lead one of their burros in this parade. And I thought it sounded like a fun opportunity. So I said, sure, why not? I'm already running late, so I better get in the car and drive down to Lone Pine and see what these burros are all about. All I really knew was that I was supposed to meet these burro people at the parade staging area. So I drove down out of the beautiful mountains, through the Alabama hills, and into the charming, quaint little town of Lone Pine. And sure enough, over by the high school, there was a bunch of people loving on a whole bunch of burros wearing funny hats and banners that said California breakfast burritos. Seemed like I was in the right place. Okay, I think this is my contact. Are you Panamint Pete?
Well, I don't know about that. That's
well, that's the name you put in the email to me. So
that's the name that John gave me when we dressed up as prospectors.
Oh, okay. So we're not dressing up as prospectors?
Not today. No, we're trail runners today.
Oh, okay. Darn it. And these are these rescue burros?
Yeah, she's a BLM.
So
she's a wild one.
She was a wild burro on BLM land, and then they round them up?
Right.
That's right. Every so often, the Bureau of Land Management, aka the federal government, goes out and rounds up hundreds of feral burros roaming around the Mojave Desert, descendants of the original donkeys used by prospectors back in the 1800s. With the invention of the automobile, miners didn't need burros to carry their supplies anymore, and so the poor critters were turned loose, abandoned in the desert to fend for themselves. But because donkeys are so tough and can survive pretty much anywhere, they managed to not just survive, but more or less thrive, and kept breeding to the point where there's now so many of them that the government considers them a nuisance and rounds them up at a facility in Ridgecrest. And that's where the California Breakfast Burritos organization comes in. Okay, this is the woman who runs California Breakfast Burritos, and your name is Karen?
Yes, Karen Usco.
So what does California Breakfast Burritos do?
So we are a nonprofit, a 501c3, and we have several missions. One of them is educating the public about donkeys. They have a very bad reputation of being stubborn, when all there is they're just smarter than we think.
Exactly. They're not going to do something stupid that we tell them to.
And when we became the nonprofit, we decided that there are so many donkeys out there that get adopted and don't do anything.
Yeah.
And some get adopted and then they put in the backyard and they don't have a job. They don't have anything to do.
And donkeys, they want a job?
They want a job. They are very smart and they get bored if they don't have a mission.
Yeah. So if you just tie it up in your backyard, that's no good.
No.
Is that what happens at that place in Ridgecrest? Are they mostly adopted out?
Yes.
Because
They're
they're
all adopted
I
out.
always hear they're turned into dog food or whatever.
No, they are protected by the government.
They are protected.
Yes.
Okay.
So they all have a freeze brand. I don't know if you can see that. This is the BLM freeze brand. It's a code that will tell about the donkey.
Gosh, no kidding. Look at that.
And they are not allowed to go on slaughterhouses and those things. So
Oh, good.
they are protected.
Oh, good. See, I'm learning all kinds of stuff that's making me feel better today.
Yeah,
Wow.
there's a lot of rumors.
There
but
sure are.
They don't have any background.
Yeah, okay, well, we heard it here from the donkey's mouth, Karen. But the California breakfast burrito folks aren't just raising awareness, they also help gentle wild burros, getting them used to being around people, and then they find ways to put them to work, carrying supplies on hikes, and even supporting long-distance trail runners. They seem like a great group of people, and for more information, you can check them out at californiabreakfastburritos.org. Okay, I gotta go meet my burro that I'm gonna be leading in the parade. Astrid! Okay, love it!
She's got a shovel. So.
Okay, Astrid's carrying the spade. That's a miner's donkey right here.
gotta
Hi,
give her a
Astrid! Oh, what a
kid.
beauty! Hi! Hi, Astrid! I love you. Oh my god, this is my dream gig. I get to pet burros all morning. Alright, now I got my official shirt, California Breakfast Burritos. How about that? Boy, I feel like a prospector now. I mean, this is what these old prospectors had to do back in the day. They would load their burro up with their pick, pan, and shovel. Or I guess if you weren't, what is that called, placer mining when you use a pan? If you were just prospecting, like say in Death Valley, I don't know if they would have carried a pan, but they would have had all their canned goods. Like if they were going to go out into the desert for 3 months, they would have had 3 months worth of canned coffee, evaporated milk, sardines, Prince Albert. All that would have been loaded on the burro's back. These burros were the prospectors' best friends, which is why it's so sad they were all just turned loose in the desert when they weren't needed anymore. And why it's so cool there's people like the California breakfast burrito folks who are doing what they can to help them. And marching these burros in the Lone Pine Film Festival parade was a great way to raise awareness for the cause. Wow, look, I think there's some old Western movie stars over there. You guys recognize who that is? Well, he probably doesn't look anything like he did in his heyday, but holy cow, look at that shirt. Aside from old movie stars, it seemed like the whole town turned out for this parade. The Lone Pine High School Future Farmers of America, the 20 mule team that was used to haul borax out of Death Valley back in the day, even our county district supervisor leading a fuzzy baby calf from his own ranch. It was classic small town Americana, and it was so much fun to march down the middle of US 395 leading a burro. So even though I live clear on the other side of the county, which happens to be the second biggest county in California, and even though the direct route was still closed because of storm damage, so I had to circle all the way around Death Valley, I was glad I drove out to be a part of this awesome event. Hey, Pete, thank you for inviting me
Well, thank you
to
for
go
coming.
in this parade. And you just told me you guys also do little pack trips?
Right.
And what's that?
We go up in the high country or up in the Panamints.
In the Panamints?
Yeah.
Oh, and you bring the burros with all
Yes,
your gear?
Yes. Well, just like lunch and water.
Yeah, you go for a day hike, for lunch. That sounds super fun. Please let me know next time you do one of those
I
trips.
certainly will.
All right, thank you, Pete. Whew, okay, that was fun, but kind of short. I guess it's not that big of a town, so it's not that big of a parade. But since we're out here anyway, we might as well walk back down Main Street and see what we can see. You know, just poke around Lone Pine a bit. I'm not in a hurry. Even though there's weather moving in over the Sierra, look at that. Big clouds massing over Mount Whitney. No telling what'll happen next. And honestly, if I did get rained on, it would feel pretty good because it is hot. It's October 8th. And we are in the Sierra Mountains, or at the foothills of the Sierras. But it's hot out here in Lone Pine. I mean, believe it or not, this is actually the same county that I live in way over on the east side of Death Valley. Seems totally different because of these towering snow-capped mountains in the background, but in Yo County, it's a huge county, and it goes all the way from one side of Death Valley clear over to this side. Man, it's cool because there's a lot of people wearing old Western costumes here. I have a feeling I'm a little bit underdressed. Well, I don't know. I was leading a burro. I didn't want to wear anything too fancy. Although, to be honest, I did bring a fancy outfit with me. I brought my pink cowboy hat and pink boots and jeans and my big old Wonderhussy belt buckle. But I thought, A, it's really hot, and B, I better focus on just not getting trampled by this burro. But the burro was very sweet, very well behaved. They did a great job gentling those burros. So it really wasn't that difficult. I guess mostly this town is based around tourism now. People hiking, climbing Mount Whitney, hiking, climbing, backpacking. I guess that's mostly the kinds of tourists they get here. Look at this, Lone Pine, a great place to be. I pretty much agree with that. You know, I've actually thought that Lone Pine might be a cool place to have like a summer place, a getaway when it's really hot in Death Valley over on the other side of the county. Well, I could just come over here and post up in the shade of these mighty mountains. But then again, like I said, it is hot today. In fact, I think it's almost as hot here as it is where I live today. So it might not be that much cooler in the summer. But I'll tell you one thing, it's a lot cooler in the winter. Oh my gosh, we don't get snow where I live, but you know they do here. Okay, check it out. I was walking past this cool historic old building, and this guy that was standing in the doorway said, "Hey, Wonderhussy, who are you?"
I already knew who you were.
Yeah, well, who are you? We don't know who you are.
I'm Brian.
Brian, and what are you doing here in this old building?
This is Lone Pine Revival, and I'm making custom lighting out of found materials.
You do custom lighting out of found materials.
Yeah.
And so that's what Lone Pine Revival, you're going to sell lighting, or what's the store going to be?
So I've been making some of the lighting for Airbnbs and things around here and some of my friends, and it's something I've been doing for, I don't know, 10, 15 years.
And so that's what this store will sell when it's open? Lighting?
It is. That's going to be the biggest product here.
Oh, okay.
I'm also going to have workwear.
Workwear,
and a lot of home goods.
Home goods?
You know, like the incense stuff and coffee stuff. And
yeah, like cool gifts.
Yeah.
And I see there's a really cool lamp right over there. Is this an example of your work?
Come on in.
Can we check it out?
Yeah.
What is this?
So this is a burnt timber from the salt tram.
This is a burnt timber from the Cerro Gordo salt tram, or the Saline Valley?
From near there, yeah. And
wow.
And the shade is a piece of core tin that they were all stacked, and the water leaked between them.
Core tin? Oh, so this pattern was already on it.
Well, because the water leaks through when they're stacked, and it kind of makes this marble.
Oh, I see, because it was a flat sheet of tin.
Yeah.
Wow, and so you made this badass lamp.
I made that badass lamp.
How about that? Can we see that other cool lighting fixture you have back there?
Anything you want.
Okay, well, I just happened to notice Brian let me in here earlier, and he has these really cool lights in the back.
Don't trip on the nails.
Okay, I'll be careful. Yeah, this is a construction zone. He's not quite open yet, but look how cool these are. These are old lamps from where? The D?
Well, I got them from an old DWP guy. Well, from his
wow,
house.
those are cool.
He's passed away, but yeah, and I just strung them together, and that's going to be where I build motorcycles.
You're going to build motorcycles?
There's a lot here.
Wow, so it'll be lighting fixtures, workwear, gifts, and you'll build motorcycles.
Yeah, and some hot waters.
Wow.
It could be a lot.
Wow, this is cool. I'm so glad that you said hi to me as I was walking by, because
yeah, me too.
It's interesting to meet some. I mean, you moved here from the big city, right?
Yeah.
You know, you had enough of the big city, wanted to move to a small town.
I've been waiting to see you walk by because I've been watching you for a long time. So.
Uh-oh, a stalker.
No, not a stalker.
Just kidding,
not,
just kidding.
Well, not a bad one.
No, I know. Well, I was bound to show up one day, and here I am. And so maybe you said you're working on a light fixture for Brent up at Cerro Gordo?
Well, yeah, that's so. We just spoke again yesterday, and I'm going to go up there and check out his new music studio that they're building and
cool.
make some lighting fixtures for that and
right.
big statement pieces. And I'm going to make a big statement piece for your house too. So.
Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Brian just very generously offered to make a cool lighting statement for the Death Valley compound. Wow.
It's going to be amazing.
Yeah, and so we'll have to make a video when you come out and do that, because I'm very curious to see what your thoughts are when you see our messed up place.
I've seen your messed up place.
Yeah, okay. Well, you haven't seen it in person.
We could do something cool with it.
Far out, Brian. Thank you.
Oh,
I'm
welcome.
excited.
Thank you. No, this is great. I love it.
Oh, here. Hugs.
Welcome to my place.
Yay! I'll come back when you're open and I'll show everybody what it looks like.
That sounds fantastic.
We look forward to seeing your motorcycle. Wow, what a cool guy. You never know who you're gonna meet walking down the street in Lone Pine. Oh, look, a thru hiker. That's another thing you see a lot of here is these hikers. They come down from the Pacific Crest Trail, or I guess the John Muir Wilderness comes right up on the other side of Mount Whitney. So you see a lot of these backpackers down here in town. Oh man, look at this guy. Hi guys, this is Mark Wanamaker. He's a Western film historian, and he's got a great podcast about Hollywood film history.
That's right, and I'm here to promote the town of Lone Pine, the film festival, and its longtime history, not only as a mining town, Western town, but also as a film town. This is sort of like a little bit of Hollywood here in Lone Pine.
I met Mark at Bodie Days. You probably don't remember, but
Yes,
yeah,
I do.
Okay, well, I met him at Bodie Days, and he turned me on to his podcast, and it's very interesting. I like the one about the Three Stooges looking for the stairways.
That's right,
Yeah,
that's
it's
right.
good stuff. What's the name of the podcast?
It's a history of Hollywood with Mark Wanamaker.
Check it out, guys. You won't be sorry. Now, poor Mark is trying to eat ice cream.
okay.
We
Good
don't
to
want
see
to.
you.
Yes, always a pleasure. I thought I would run into you here.
I was here with the Western guys.
I bet
shooting
you
their
were.
guns off.
Oh, good. Well, you look fantastic.
You look great too.
All right.
All right, later.
Bye.
Nice to see you.
Yeah, you too. Wow, I'm running into all kinds of folks here. I guess that's what happens in a small town. Everyone knows each other. The guy I was talking to who makes all those cool lamps said there's only 1,800 people who live here. So I guess that explains it. Even though countless thousands of tourists pass through Lone Pine every year, it really is a rustic, quaint, small town. Look at that. No wonder this McDonald's is so rustic and quaint. It's on Jean Autry Lane. How about that? I think there's like a Roy Rogers Road, and there's probably a Tom Mix Avenue, if y'all know who any of those guys were. The late, great Western stars. And Westerns were what everybody was watching. Look at this. This is the Lone Pine Film Museum, the Museum of Western Film History. And they got all these cool movie posters. Bad Day at Black Rock. Oh my gosh, I love this. Like, what kind of bra was she wearing? What kind of bras did they have back in the frontier days? Oh wait, there's Tom Mix. So isn't that the Lone Ranger on silver? Aw. John Ford's stagecoach. Men and women on the last frontier of wickedness. Boy, I'll say. Let's go in. Wow, look at that beautiful old stagecoach. Oh look, there's the Lone Ranger and Tonto. Oh look, there's his autograph to Sherry and Stevie Kimosabe. Oh my gosh, look how cute this is. It's like I guess it's a recreation of a 50s household. I mean, you can see this was like what I'm talking about. Kids back then were just bonkers for cowboy stuff. There's the kids' bunk bed. You can see they got little kid cowboy boots. Really cool cowboy Hopalong Cassidy chenille bedspread. Oh my goodness. And like the little kids' chaps hanging from the bedpost. Anyway, that's where the kids sleep. And there's where mom cooks up the victuals while the kids sit here at this awesome Formica table and watch Westerns on this boss old TV in this amazing wooden cabinet. Oh my god, these are the kinds of shows they would watch. The Rifleman, Wagon Train, Wild Wild West. Oh man, and look at the pictures. I'll bet you there's a lot of people watching this channel who remember and who know who all these dudes are and who watched all these shows. Isn't that Gunsmoke there? Isn't that Sheriff Matt Dillon? Well, where's Miss Kitty? Gunsmoke was on from 1955 to 1975. 20 seasons. Can you imagine? Bonanza. The Big Valley. Oh my gosh, look. It's your little cowboy breakfast set. When you're a kid back in the 50s, you had your Lone Ranger Cheerios in your Hopalong Cassidy bowl. Ah, look at this Roy Rogers lunchbox. It's amazing that this museum has collected and curated all this stuff. Oh my gosh, who's this? Jay Silverheels. You guys recognize Jay Silverheels? He must have been a Native American actor. He's probably Italian. He just played Native Americans on TV. You know how they used to do that back then? Oh, I gotta be quiet or they're gonna kick me out. Okay, let's see what else we see here. That little Lone Ranger guitar. I bet that's worth some money. Oh my gosh, look at these creepy dolls. I guess that's a little Hopalong Cassidy doll. Oh my god, look how creepy that blonde one is. What about Howdy Doody? Wasn't Howdy Doody also like a little cowboy? I don't know, man. Toys were just creepy back then. Look at these roller skates. Like some creepy death contraption. Oh man, here's a sign of the times. Look, they have to have this explainer. In the 1950s, children had more time to play. And even though there was television, most parents exercised greater viewing control. Thus, children played outside, played games, and let their imaginations run wild. It's really sad that they have to explain how kids used to play. I guess kids don't play outside anymore. Oh wow, cool. This is a car they used to use, I guess, to put cameras on when they were filming movies. Like, they would mount the guy up on this platform here with the camera. You can kind of see in the sign. I think that's the same car. Wow, and then they would lay out a track for it, so you could do those nice, smooth tracking shots in the beautiful Alabama hills, right behind town. Pretty impressive rig. Ooh, Outlaw Alley. This must be where all the bad hombres are, all the bad guys. I guess these are the dudes who played all the antagonists in these movies. Like, he just looks shady. Gosh, I've never heard of any of these dudes. Roy Bancroft, Morris Ankrum. I guess you mostly always just hear about the heroes, not so much the villains. You know, like we all know about this guy right here. I've thrown in with an outfit I can be proud of. Great Western Savings. John Wayne, shilling for a bank. Doesn't get any more American than that. Oh gosh, or how about this? Cecil B. DeMille, Samson and Delilah. Boy, there's something just vaguely homoerotic about that, if you ask me. Or for that matter, look at this one. Gary Cooper, The Lives of a Bengal Lancer. I feel like it's a fine line between some of these Western movie posters and men's magazines back in the day. Hell Bent for Leather. Target for Terror. Steve McQueen. Now there was a man. Oh, I want to go in here. Stuntman. Okay, these were the true heroes. These were the guys that actually did the stunts for all the posers who starred in the movies. Kind of like in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, that Quentin Tarantino movie that came out a few years ago. I think Leo DiCaprio is the Western actor, the star, and Brad Pitt is his stunt double, the guy who really does all the work. And he's all busted up and he lives in that crappy trailer with that dog and then ends up getting mixed up with the Manson family. Well, I guess this room here is devoted to the stunt doubles who did all this work. Oh my god, look at this wooden chest plate, I guess. One of the stunt doubles had to wear this wooden chest plate so he could take bullets, I guess? Or bow and arrow? Oh my gosh, yikes. I can't imagine letting somebody shoot an arrow at me, even if I was wearing a wooden chest plate. Oh my gosh, look at this badass old leather duffel bag. Stuntman's Association of Motion Pictures and TV, Hollywood, USA. And I don't know if you can see on the top it says, what does it say? I guess the guy's name. Lauren. Oh, this guy here. Lauren Janes. I guess he was a stuntman. And they got his leather duffel bag. Isn't that cool? This dude Lauren, he probably took this duffel bag on all these film sets when he would go get strapped into these leather jerkins and wooden chest plates and had to take arrows and fall off trains and jump off horses. And man, what a life this guy must have had. Okay, anyway, I better get out of here, man. I've been in here long enough. Wow, that was a cool little museum. Oh my gosh, and it's free. I mean, they have a suggested donation of $5. That's nothing. I'm happy to give $5 to a place like that that's keeping these American traditions alive and well. Actually, it's a shame because when I first moved to Vegas back in the year 2000, yes, 23 years ago, there used to be a museum in Apple Valley, California. It was the Roy Rogers Museum. Because Roy Rogers and his wife Dale Evans had a big ranch in Apple Valley. And so they had this Roy Rogers Museum there back in those days, that you could go in and see all his old Western stuff. And they even had his horse, Trigger, stuffed. Kind of like that. It was like standing in a rare pose, but it was an actual horse, taxidermied, the actual trigger, right in the front of the museum. And I always wanted to go back there and make a video about it, but unfortunately I done waited too long, and now there ain't no more Roy Rogers Museum in Apple Valley. But I guess that's okay, because if you want to see Western film history, well, just come over here to the beautiful little town of Lone Pine. As a bonus, you could go hiking in the beautiful Eastern Sierra. You could have a meal at the most rustic McDonald's in the USA. Uh-oh, change of plans. I was walking down the street to get back in my car when I ran into this lady who works for Miller's Towing. Okay? If you've never heard of Miller's Towing, it's the tow company out here that comes to pull you out if you get into a jam in Death Valley. Matter of fact, my sister and her boyfriend had to use Miller's to tow his school bus out of a wash they got stuck in earlier this summer. Anyway, she said they're big fans of my channel, and she said if I go back to the shop, she'll give me a free shirt. So I'm following her back to the tow shop right now. Wow, this is one place I hoped I would never end up. At least I never wanted to have to get towed here. But getting a t-shirt, that's a different story. Ma'am, what's your name?
Kathy Miller.
And this is Kathy Miller from Miller's Towing. And she's the one who waved me down. She was just trying to get her McDonald's. And next thing you know, Wonderhussy! Yeah, it's kind of loud and kind of recognizable. Wow, how nice. I appreciate this, Kathy. You're cool. Oh my gosh, this is what they have to use to extract you if you get stuck in deep snow. Y'all ever seen one of these? It's like a truck with tank treads. Get out of town. I've never seen anything like that. Well, like I said, if you get in a jam, whether it's in sand, mud, or snow, these are the guys to call to get you out. And it ain't cheap either. I know people who've gotten towed out of Saline Valley, and I mean, they gotta drive all the way over those mountains and into Death Valley, and gosh, I don't blame them. What they charge is fair. Look at this Bubba. Bubba's the biggest one out of all of them. They could tow you out of anything with that. Golly, I sure am glad that I didn't have to call Kathy. She just yelled at me from across the road. Okay, Kathy's taking me around the back. Cool, thank you. I don't mean to put you out, Kathy. I'm excited to be here. I've always been curious about this place because, you know, I'm always rolling around Death Valley and I'm always afraid I'm going to break down.
Now you get a tour.
Yeah, this is neat. I love seeing the tow yard.
Town yard.
Wow, all these old recovered vehicles just sitting here waiting to be picked up.
Watch your step.
Okay, we'll squeeze through. Oh, how cool is this? I love your shop. Oh my God. Oh wow, yeah, look at the old pickup. And this thing still runs?
Yes,
Wow.
I've been in here for a long time.
Oh my
He doesn't
God.
have time for
Yeah.
that stuff.
Beautiful. Oh, cool. The tow office. How exciting.
I'm so nervous now
Don't
because
be
I'm so
nervous.
excited.
Kathy, don't be nervous. It's just me.
It's just me.
Yeah, what are these?
Oh, what are they?
This is
Medium?
Oh yeah, these are mediums.
Here, trade
Okay.
it.
Oh wow, thank you, Kathy.
You're welcome.
Laura, look at that. Kathy gave me not one but two. Let me show everybody back home what I got. Miller's Towing, Lone Pine, California. I love it. And look at the back. There's a skeleton sitting in Death Valley next to their RV. That's about right. Oh gosh, I sure am glad that's never happened to me. Oh, and a card too, just in case I ever get in a jam.
Yeah.
I know who to call.
He said, my husband said, she broke down? Is she broke down? I said, no, she's not broke
No,
down.
I'm just walking. Well, Kathy, thank you. I appreciate
Oh my
you so
God.
much.
Can I get a picture of you and me?
Yeah, sure.
With my camera?
Well, I hate to tell you, you're in this video too.
Oh my.
How about that? I was only in Lone Pine for, gosh, half a day, and I walked out with 3 t-shirts, a business card, and a guy who's gonna make me a badass custom lamp. Boy, I'm gonna have to come over here to the west side of Inyo County more often. All jokes aside though, I really like this little town. And free t-shirts or no, I'll be back anyway.